remember we are discussing on the mechanism of hearing. And on the last part of this session, we try to look on the vibration which enter into the inner ear, that is within the cochlea. And we have seen that within the cochlea is where now there is a fluid. The fluid that are found within the cochlea will vibrate due to the vibration of the oval window. So what next now is here now we are going to discuss. So now we are saying that this stimulates the sensory hair cells of the organ of Koch on the basilar membrane to send the nerve's impulse to the brain. So vibration tuseme kwamba ile vibration ambayo iliyotokea kwenye ile basilar membrane inayopatikana ndani ya cochlea au ile tunasema ile fluid iliyokuwepo ndani ya cochlea itaenda kustimulate zile sensory hairs ambazo zinapatikana ndani ya organ of Koch. Remember, this organ of Koch, it is found within the cochlea. So zile hair cells will vibrate. After vibration, now we can say that will send the nerve's impulse to the brain. We're going to see the structure of this organ of Koch, and you will remember and you will know what I mean when we're saying that the stimulation of the sensory hair cells, organ of Koch, of the basilar membrane to send the impulse to the brain. So this basilar membrane, it is responsible for sending the impulse to the brain. And now we can also say that when they reach to the auditory area of the cerebral cortex, they are interpreted as the sound. So those vibration that will enter into the auditory nerves. Remember, this vibration will not enter into the auditory nerves since they are converted. That is, will occur the transduction of the sound, meaning that from vibration to electrical nerves or electrical signal, so that it can be easily sent into the brain. So ikisha pelekwa kwenye brain, specifically kwenye structure inaitwa cerebral cortex within the brain, is where now it is interpreted. What kind of sound is that? And what does that sound mean? Within the cochlea or within the cerebral or cortex, which is found within the brain. But also we can say that many sensory hair cells with a different threshold at this they are stimulated exist. So zile sensory hairs with a different threshold at which they are stimulated to exist. To exit. So hapo ndipo ambapo kuna zile sensory hairs nyingine ambazo zinapatikana within the organ of Koch also will be stimulated due to the vibration or due to the signal that have been sent into the organ of Koch. So now the louder the sound, the greater the number of the sensory hair cells will be stimulated at any point of the basilar membrane. So hapa tunasema kwamba the louder the sound, the higher the sensory hair cells will be stimulated. Kwa ina maana kama ile sound ni kubwa, kama umekaa sehemu yenye makelele sana, makelele yameexceed, kwa hiyo sasa ita cause vibration nyingi kutokea kwenye ile sensory kwenye organ of Koch, mainly kwenye hiyo tunaita sensory hair cells. Zita vibrate or it will be stimulated. Thereafter will bring about appropriate response due to the sound that you perceive. So my students, now I'd like to show you a simply mechanism of hearing process that is occurring within the human being. This will help you to summarize when you are studying by your own. So now you can see this picture. As you can see here, we are saying that how the ear works, how the ear works. Also in the exam, student, since nowadays it is the competency-based question, yeah. So you have to understand first question. Maswali hayaji kuwa yani kwenye mtihani maswali hayaji open. So you have to understand things, thereafter ndipo ambapo uweze kuelezea hilo swali lako. So now here swali linaweza likaja tu kwenye mtihani shortly as how does the ear works. Imeishia hapo. Kwa hiyo sasa hapo wewe utaanza kuongelea the structure of the ear, how does the sound enter the ear mpaka kwenye inner ear. So you have to understand things. And this mechanism of hearing, it will enable you, my student, to answer such kind of question. So now you can see this one is our ear. This one is our ear. So how does the sound travel? And now here you can see this one are the sound waves. So hapa labda palikuwa na sauti, ulikuwa umesikia sauti yoyote au umeitwa. Kwa hiyo sasa ile sound waves, it will be transmitted. So we have this pinna. This one is the pinna. This pinna, it is responsible for collection of the sound waves. So after collection of the sound waves, it will direct it into the inner part of the outer ear, which is called the auditory canal, or we can say that ear canal. Thereafter, the ear canal will direct the sound waves into the inner part of the, into the middle part of the ear. And when we are talking on the middle part of the ear, that is the tympanic membrane or the ear drum. So if the sound will reach at this side, that is the tympanic membrane, the tympanic membrane will vibrate. After vibration of this tympanic membrane, as you can see, this tympanic membrane, it is connected with the with the middle ear. When we are talking about the middle ear, my student, including of the 3 ear oscles, the mills, the steps, and the incus. So also will vibrate. Due to the vibration, bring about the tympanic membrane. So after vibration of this ear oscles, ndipo ambapo ita send zile impulse direct kwenye structure ambayo tunaita steps. Remember, steps also, it is the part of the middle ear. So thereafter, it will send impulse to the steps. This steps also, it will send impulse to the oval window. Oval window, it is the structure which separates between the middle ear and the inner ear. And we are saying that the inner ear, inner part of the ear, which is responsible for hearing, it is called the cochlea. So this one folded part of the ear within the inner ear, it is called the cochlea, and it is responsible for hearing process to occur within the human being. So now within this cochlea is where now we can find the organ of coat. Is where now we are going to find the organ of coat. This organ of coat, it is responsible for transmitting the sound waves to the electrical signal. And now I would like to show you another picture. This is transverse section showing the organ of coat. This one is the organ of coat, and the organ of coat ndiyo ambayo iko responsible kwa ajili ya kutransmit zile vibration into electrical signal so that it can be sent into the brain and to interpret which kind of sound is that. So now you can see here within this organ of coat we have almost 3 parts. The first part, it is called the perilymph. The second part, it is called the endolymph, and lastly we have this which is called the perilymph. And within first part here we have this vestibular canal. And when we are talking about vestibular canal, that is the 3 semicircular canal, utricles together with the circuli, ndiyo ambayo ina comprise of the vestibular canal, that is the perilymph. We have already discussed it when we are seeing on the membranous labyrinth. And also now the part which is separate between the vestibular canal and the endolymph, which is found within the cochlea, that is called the resinous membrane. Underline this word, or you can be asked into your exam, what is the resinous membrane? Resinous membrane ni membrane ambayo ina separate between the vestibular canal and the cochlea, mainly here the endolymph and the perilymph. And within the endolymph is where now we have the media canal. And this one, this part from here to here ndiyo ambayo ina comprise of the organ of coat. So tukiongelea organ of coat tunaongelea tectorial membrane, we are talking about basilar membrane, and also we are talking about sensory hair cell. Ndiyo ambayo ina comprise about the organ of coat. So hii organ of court ndio ambayo after the vibration of the sensory hair cell will transmit the impulse to the bacillus membrane. Then bacillus membrane, it is connected to the auditory nerves. So ile auditory nerves ndio ambayo itakayo send impulse direct into the brain, specifically on the brain, specifically on the structure which is responsible for interpretation of the sound. So now here after that, now you can see this one is auditory neuron. Here auditory neuron ndio ambayo ina send impulse direct to the brain. So if you have been asked to draw the structure of the organ of court, you have to draw like this, but don't forget, at least unaweza ukasahau hizi huku structure nyingine, lakini usisahau hizi structure hapa tatu, ndizo ambazo zinatengeneza ile organ of court in general. So my student, that is the mechanism of hearing. Mpaka mtu unaweza ukarecognize different kind of sound is due to this part which is found within the cochlea. It is called the organ of court. And my student, after saying so, and this marks the end of our today's session. So thank you for listening, and bye bye. Have a nice moment.